Have you ever wondered why the path to greatness feels less like a red carpet and more like a grueling battlefield? Perhaps you have looked at your life and felt as though you were being singled out by some invisible force, not for favor, but for an endless series of trials that seem to break you down just as you find the strength to stand. You might look around and see others gliding through existence with ease, their journeys marked by simple joys and straightforward successes, while your own narrative is defined by loss, betrayal, isolation, and a profound sense of being misunderstood. If this resonates with you, then you must understand that you are not being punished by a cruel universe. You are being prepared. In the grand tapestry of existence, there is a specific archetype known as the Chosen One, a soul destined to carry a higher frequency, to break generational cycles, and to anchor a new level of consciousness into the world. But here is the paradox that many struggle to grasp. The greater the mission, the more intense the training. The universe does not hand the keys to the kingdom to someone who has not mastered the forge. Before the blessing can be received, the vessel must be hollowed out, strengthened, and refined. This is why the chosen ones often suffer the most. It is an alchemical process of turning lead into gold, and as any blacksmith will tell you, the metal must endure the heat of the furnace and the strike of the hammer before it can become a masterpiece. To understand why this suffering is necessary, we must first look at the concept of the ego. Most people spend their entire lives governed by the small self, the part of us that seeks comfort, validation, and safety. The ego wants to fit in, to be liked, and to maintain the status quo. However, the mission of a chosen one is rarely about fitting in. It is about standing out and leading a shift in perception. If you were comfortable in the world as it currently exists, you would have no motivation to change it. Suffering acts as the ultimate disruptor. It creates a friction that makes the ordinary life intolerable. When the universe strips away your support systems, your reputation, or your sense of belonging, it is effectively detaching you from the illusions of the material world. It is forcing you to look inward for a source of strength that cannot be taken away. This internal search is where the true power of the Chosen One is born. You are being pushed into the depths of your own soul because that is where the treasures are buried. If everything were easy, you would stay on the surface, living a superficial existence that serves no higher purpose. The suffering is the invitation to go deeper, to find the light that shines in the darkness, and to realize that you are the source of your own salvation. Consider the analogy of the eagle. When a mother eagle realizes it is time for her eaglets to learn to fly, she begins to remove the soft feathers and grass from the nest. She makes the environment uncomfortable, exposing the sharp sticks and cold rocks beneath. She does this not because she stopped loving her children, but because she knows that if the nest remains comfortable, the eaglets will never discover the power of their wings. They would stay in the safety of the nest and eventually perish from a lack of growth. The universe treats the chosen ones in much the same way. It makes your old life uncomfortable. It makes your old friendships feel shallow, your old jobs feel soul-crushing, and your old habits feel like chains. This discomfort is a nudge, a celestial reminder that you were meant for the sky, not the nest. The suffering you endure is the sharpening of your spirit. Every challenge you face is a weightlifting session for your soul, building the spiritual muscle required to carry the heavy blessings that are coming your way. You cannot hold a gallon of divine light if you only have the capacity of a thimble. The trials expand your container. They stretch your patience, your resilience, and your faith until you are large enough to contain the magnitude of your destiny. Furthermore, suffering provides the chosen one with the most important tool in their spiritual arsenal: empathy. You cannot lead people out of a forest you have never walked through. You cannot heal a heart if you do not understand the mechanics of heartbreak. Most chosen ones are healers, teachers, or way-showers in some capacity, even if they do not hold those formal titles. Their very presence acts as a catalyst for others. To perform this role effectively, you must have an intimate, first-hand knowledge of human suffering. When you have sat in the ashes of your own life and found a way to rise, you carry a frequency of hope that is undeniable. You speak with the authority of experience, not the arrogance of theory. People can sense the depth of your journey. They see the scars and realize that if you survived, they can too. Your suffering becomes the bridge that allows others to cross from despair to possibility. The universe allows you to experience the heights and the depths so that you can become a universal translator of the human experience. You are being given a Ph.D. in resilience, and the tuition is paid in tears and perseverance. There is also the matter of the dark night of the soul, a period of intense spiritual purgation that almost every chosen one must undergo. This is a time when the heavens seem silent, when your prayers feel like they are hitting a brick wall, and when you feel utterly abandoned by the divine. It is a terrifying experience, but it serves a vital purpose. In the silence, you learn to trust your own inner compass. You learn that the divine is not something outside of you that you must beg for help, but a power that resides within you, waiting to be claimed. The dark night of the soul strips away your spiritual arrogance. It humbles you until you realize that you are nothing and everything all at once. This humility is the foundation upon which true Fawaklan or blessings are built. Without it, the ego would take credit for the miracles, leading to a fall that would be far more devastating. The universe humbles you now so that it can exalt you later, ensuring that you have the character to handle the influence and abundance that will eventually flow through you. Think for a moment about the process of making wine. To get the juice from the grape must be crushed. There is no other way. If the grape remains whole, it eventually withers and dies, but if it is crushed, it becomes something that can last for years and bring joy to many. You are currently in the wine press of the cosmos. The pressure you feel is not there to destroy you. It is there to extract the essence of who you truly are. It is removing the pulp of your fears and the skin of your insecurities. What remains is the pure, fermented spirit of a leader. The suffering is also a filter. It clears out the people in your life who were only there for the fair-weather version of you. Toxic friends, manipulative partners, and fair-weather allies cannot survive the intensity of a chosen one's transformation. They fall away because they can no longer find a frequency match with the person you are becoming. This isolation is often the most painful part of the journey, but it is a divine protection. The universe is clearing the stage so that the right people, your true soul family, have a place to sit when they arrive. You are being separated from the noise so that you can finally hear the music of your own destiny. Rhetorically speaking, if you were in charge of a multi-billion-dollar project, would you hire someone who had never faced a crisis? Would you trust your most valuable assets to someone who folded at the first sign of trouble? Of course not. You would look for the person who had survived the storms, the one who had navigated the failures and kept moving. The universe operates on the same logic. The blessings intended for the chosen ones often involve a high level of responsibility. You might be destined to lead a movement, to create a work of art that changes lives, or to be the pillar of strength for a community. These roles require a level of integrity and grit that can only be forged in the fire. The suffering is your background check. It is the universe verifying that you are a person of your word, that you will not sell your soul for a quick fix, and that you have the stamina to see the mission through to the end. Every time you choose to keep going despite the pain, you are passing a test. You are proving to the celestial forces that you are a worthy steward of the light. Let us consider the story of Joseph, a classic example of the chosen one archetype found in many traditions. Joseph was favored, gifted with visions and a special coat, but what followed his selection? He was thrown into a pit by his own brothers, sold into slavery, falsely accused of a crime he did not commit, and forgotten in a dungeon for years. From the outside, it looked like his life was a tragic failure. It looked as though the universe had abandoned him. But each of those painful steps was a necessary piece of a larger puzzle. In the pit, he learned the reality of betrayal. In slavery, he learned how to manage an estate. In prison, he learned how to interpret dreams for the highest levels of government. If he had stayed in the comfort of his father's house, he would have remained a spoiled child. He needed the suffering to become the prime minister who would eventually save his entire nation from famine. The dungeon was the waiting room for the palace. Your current situation, no matter how bleak it may seem, is your version of that dungeon. It is a classroom where you are learning the specific skills you will need for your version of the palace. The blessings are not being delayed. They are being prepared for a version of you that does not yet exist. We must also talk about the concept of karma and ancestral clearing. Many chosen ones carry the burden of their entire bloodline. You might find that you are dealing with patterns of poverty, addiction, or trauma that have haunted your family for generations. You are the one who has to face these demons head-on. This is an incredibly heavy task, and it often feels unfair. Why do you have to pay for the mistakes of those who came before you? The answer is that you are the only one strong enough to do it. You were chosen because your soul has the capacity to process that density and turn it into light. By suffering through the healing of these ancestral wounds, you are not just saving yourself. You are liberating the past and the future. You are the circuit breaker in a faulty electrical system. It hurts when the current hits you, but because you are there, the whole house doesn't burn down. The Fawak land that follows this kind of work is immense, for you are rewarded not just for your own growth, but for the healing of thousands of souls. The timing of the universe is also a factor that requires immense trust. We often want our blessings now, especially when we are hurting. We feel that we have suffered enough and that it is time for the payout. But the universe does not work on a human clock. It works on the clock of readiness. If a fruit is picked before it is ripe, it is bitter and provides no nourishment. If a blessing is given before the person is ready, it becomes a curse. Think of people who win the lottery and lose it all within a few years because they did not have the internal structure to manage that level of abundance. They didn't have the discipline, the discernment, or the self-worth to keep what they were given. The suffering of the chosen one ensures that when the abundance arrives, it sticks. You will have the wisdom to know what to do with it, the humility to stay grounded, and the strength to protect it. The delay is a form of mercy. It is the universe making sure that your foundation is made of rock, not sand, so that when the house of your dreams is finally built, it will stand forever. As you navigate this period of trial, you might feel a profound sense of loneliness. This is because the path of the chosen one is a solitary one by design. You are being moved into a different frequency, and for a while, there won't be many people around you who can relate to your experience. This is the period of the hermit. It is a time for self-study, for meditation, and for communion with the divine. In this solitude, you discover that the external world is a reflection of your internal state. You begin to see the patterns in your life more clearly. You realize how your own thoughts and beliefs have contributed to your circumstances. This self-awareness is the ultimate blessing, for it gives you the power to consciously create your reality. The suffering has stripped away the distractions, leaving you alone with your Creator. In that sacred space, you are rebuilt. You are given a new name, a new purpose, and a new vision. The loneliness is the silence required for you to hear your own soul. It is also important to recognize that the suffering of a chosen one is often tied to their sensitivity. You are likely an empath, someone who feels the emotions of others and the weight of the world very deeply. In a world that is often harsh and disconnected, being sensitive feels like a disadvantage. It feels like you are walking around without skin, being bruised by every interaction. But this sensitivity is actually your greatest gift. It is the antenna that allows you to receive divine guidance. It is the tool that allows you to feel the nuances of the energy around you. The universe allows you to suffer through this sensitivity so that you learn how to master it. You learn how to set boundaries, how to protect your energy, and how to discern between what is yours and what belongs to others. Once mastered, your sensitivity becomes a superpower. You will be able to walk into a room and know exactly what is needed. You will be able to see through the lies and the masks that people wear. The pain of being too sensitive is simply the growing pains of your intuition. Let us address the feeling of why me? It is a question that haunts the dark hours of the night. Why was I the one who had to lose everything? Why was I the one who was betrayed? The answer is both simple and profound, because you can handle it. The universe never gives its hardest battles to its weakest soldiers. The fact that you are still here, still breathing, and still seeking answers despite everything you have been through is proof of your incredible strength. You are a warrior of the spirit. The hardships are not a sign of your weakness. They are a testament to your power. You are being forged into a leader because the world needs leaders who have been through the fire. We don't need more people who have lived perfect, sheltered lives. We need people who have been broken and have put themselves back together. We need the kintsugi souls, the ones whose cracks are filled with gold. Your brokenness is not a defect. It is the place where the light enters and where the blessings will eventually flow out to the rest of the world. As you move closer to the end of your period of suffering, you will notice a shift in your perspective. You will stop asking why this is happening to me and start asking what is this preparing me for? This shift in consciousness is the final gate. When you can look at your trials with a sense of curiosity and gratitude, the power they have over you disappears. You become the master of your experience rather than the victim of it. You start to see the hidden hands of the divine in every setback. You realize that the job you lost was a detour away from a toxic environment. The relationship that ended was a space being cleared for a true partner. The illness you faced was a wake-up call to value your physical temple. When you reach this level of understanding, the Fawak land begin to manifest rapidly. It is as if the universe was waiting for you to say thank you for the lessons before it could give you the rewards. The blessings that come to a chosen one after a period of suffering are rarely just material. While abundance, health, and harmonious relationships are often part of the package, The greatest blessing is a state of being. It is an unshakable peace, a deep knowing of who you are, and a connection to the divine that nothing can sever. You become a lighthouse. You don't have to shout to be heard. Your energy speaks for you. People are drawn to you because they can feel the stability of your foundation. You have achieved a level of freedom that most people cannot even imagine, the freedom from the fear of suffering. Because you have already been through the worst and survived, the world no longer has power over you. You can move through life with a sense of playfulness and purpose, knowing that whatever comes your way is just more material for your growth. This is the ultimate Fawak land, the peace that surpasses all understanding. In the final analysis, the journey of the Chosen One is a journey of homecoming. You are being stripped of everything you are not so that you can finally embrace everything you are. The suffering is the path, but the destination is your own divinity. The universe is not a judge sitting on a throne, handing out punishments and rewards based on your behavior. The universe is a loving intelligence that wants you to realize your full potential. It knows that the only way for a diamond to shine is for it to be cut and polished. It knows that the only way for a star to be born is for a nebula to collapse. You are that diamond. You are that star. Do not lose heart in the darkness. Do not give up when the hammer falls. Each strike is shaping you. Each fire is refining you. The weight you feel is the crown being placed upon your head. And though it feels heavy now, soon you will wear it with a grace that will inspire the world. Take a look back at how far you have already come. Think of the versions of yourself that you have already outgrown. You have survived 100% of your darkest days. You have found strength in places you didn't know existed. This is not the end of your story. It is the middle of your epic. The blessings are not just a possibility, they are an inevitability. They are the natural result of the work you have done and the pain you have transmuted. You are being moved from the periphery of your life to the center of your purpose. The trials are slowing down because the lessons have been integrated. The clouds are beginning to part, and the first rays of the new dawn are touching your face. Stay steady. Stay faithful. The universe has not forgotten you. In fact, it has been watching you with immense pride as you navigated the labyrinth of your own transformation. As you move forward, carry this realization with you. You were not chosen to suffer. You were chosen to overcome. The suffering was simply the medium through which your greatness was revealed. You are a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the transformative power of divine love. The Fawak land that are currently manifesting in your life are just the beginning. There is a depth of joy and a height of success waiting for you that will make the years of struggle seem like a distant dream. You will look back on this time and thank the universe for every tear, for every lonely night, and for every closed door. You will see that it was all part of a perfect plan to bring you to this moment of absolute clarity and power. You are the chosen one, and your time has finally come. The world is waiting for your light, and now, finally, you are ready to shine it. If you are currently in the thick of your trials, remember that the intensity of the heat is always highest just before the metal is ready. The darkness is always deepest just before the dawn. You are on the verge of a breakthrough that will redefine your entire existence. Do not look back at what you have lost. Look forward to what you are becoming. The universe is preparing to pour into you in ways that will overflow into the lives of everyone you touch. Your story will become a manual for others. Your life will become a living proof of the miraculous. Hold your head high, for you have walked through the fire and come out not just alive, but transformed. The blessings are here. Open your hands and your heart to receive them.